Pull out your wallet right now. Somewhere in there is a piece of plastic that lets you buy things you cannot afford yet, pay for them later, and if you are not careful, pay interest on them for years. You have had this your entire adult life. Your parents had it. It feels as permanent and inevitable as the air you breathe. But the credit card was only invented in 1950, 76 years ago. That is not ancient history. That is your grandparents' generation. So here's the question almost nobody asks. What did people actually do before credit cards existed? How did ordinary Americans buy a refrigerator, a car, a winter coat, or a plane ticket when they did not have enough cash on hand? The answer is fascinating, and once you understand it, you will never look at your credit card statement the same way again. Let us go back. Before 1950, if you wanted to buy something you could not pay for in cash, you had exactly 3 options. Each one tells you something important about how money actually works. Option 1. You knew the shopkeeper personally, and they trusted you. In the early 1900s, the local grocer kept a handwritten ledger behind the counter. If you were a regular customer, someone the grocer had known for years, someone whose family lived in the neighborhood, someone whose word meant something, you could buy groceries on credit. Your name went in the ledger, your purchases were recorded, and at the end of the week or the end of the month, you came in and settled up. No interest, no credit score, no algorithm, just a human being's judgment about whether you were trustworthy. This worked beautifully in small communities where everybody knew everybody. It collapsed the moment you moved to a city where nobody knew your name. Option 2. You paid for it over time through installment plans. This is where it gets interesting. In 1919, General Motors launched the General Motors Acceptance Corporation, GMAC, to help ordinary Americans buy cars. The idea was simple. You put 35% down, you took the car home, and you repaid the rest over the next 12 months in fixed installments. This was revolutionary. Before installment plans, if you wanted a car, you needed the full price in cash the day you walked into the showroom. Most Americans could never afford one. By the 1930s, installment plans had spread everywhere. Sears opened its entire catalog to installment payments in 1930, and by 1940, more than 30% of all Sears sales were on installment. You could buy a refrigerator, a radio, a sewing machine, or a winter coat and pay it off over months. No interest in many cases. No revolving debt. You agreed to a specific number of payments and a specific end date. When it was paid off, it was paid off. Done. Compare that to a modern credit card, where the minimum payment is designed to keep you in debt for years. Option 3. You saved until you could afford it. This one sounds almost alien today. If you wanted something and could not pay cash and could not get store credit, you simply waited. You saved your money until you had enough. Then you bought it. The layaway system was the formalized version of this. You went to the store, picked out what you wanted, made a small deposit, and the store held the item for you while you made payments. When the final payment cleared, you took your item home. No debt, no interest, no temptation to spend money that had not arrived yet. And here is what changed all of that. February 1950, New York City. A businessman named Frank McNamara goes to dinner at a restaurant in Manhattan. When the check arrives, he reaches for his wallet and discovers he has forgotten it at home. His wife has to come to the restaurant to pay the bill. Frank McNamara is embarrassed, but instead of letting the embarrassment fade, he turns it into a business idea. What if there was a card, a single card, that you could use to pay at restaurants all over the city? The restaurant would be paid immediately. You would receive a bill at the end of the month, and you would pay it in full. He calls it the Diners Club card. It is made of cardboard. It works at exactly 27 restaurants in New York City, and it has 200 members, mostly Frank McNamara's friends and family. Within a year, the Diners Club card has 10,000 members and is accepted at restaurants across the country. The banks take notice. In 1958, Bank of America launches the Bank AmeriCard in Fresno, California. They do something that had never been done before. They mail 60,000 unsolicited credit cards to Fresno residents. Just send them to everyone without asking. No application, no credit check, no visit to the bank. You open your mailbox one day and there is a credit card inside. And here's the feature that changed everything about human spending behavior. You do not have to pay the full balance at the end of the month. You can carry a balance, pay a little each month, and the bank will charge you interest on what remains. The installment plans of the 1930s had a fixed end date. You knew exactly when the debt was finished. The credit card had no end date. The debt could revolve forever. And the banks had figured out something that the installment lenders never quite understood. As one financial historian put it, consumers do not really care about interest rates. You could charge just about whatever you want, and the consumer would not notice. People look at the minimum payment, not the total interest they will pay over years. By 1970, half of all American families had at least one credit card. By 1998, more than 2/3 did. Today, the average American household carries $4,200 in credit card debt. The average interest rate on that debt is over 22%. Think about what that means. A $4,000 balance at 22% interest, paying only the minimum each month, takes over 12 years to pay off. And you pay more than $6,000 in interest on a $4,000 debt. The credit card companies designed this. This is not an accident of human psychology. This is the product working exactly as intended. So what can you actually learn from the people who lived before credit cards existed? 3 things that will change how you use credit today. Lesson 1. The installment plan model is still available to you, and it is almost always better than revolving credit. Car loans, personal loans, buy now, pay later plans from retailers, all of these work like the 1930s installment plans. Fixed payments, fixed end date, fixed total cost. You know exactly what you are paying and when it is over. If you need to finance a large purchase, an installment loan almost always beats putting it on a credit card. Lesson 2. The ledger system your great-grandparents used, paying for things with people who trusted you, is the exact logic behind paying your credit card in full every single month. When the local grocer extended credit, there was no interest. The credit was a bridge from purchase to payday, not a long-term financing arrangement. Your credit card works the same way, if you pay it in full every month. You get the float, you get the rewards, you pay 0 interest. The moment you carry a balance, you have crossed from the grocer's ledger into the bank's profit center. The grocer made money on the groceries. The bank makes money on your interest. Do not confuse the two. Lesson 3. The people who saved for things before buying them were not financially unsophisticated. They were financially disciplined. Today, the average American household spends $110 for every $100 they earn. That gap, that $10, lives on credit cards. Your grandparents could not spend money that had not arrived yet. The credit card made it possible to spend the next 3 years of income today. And the entire credit card industry is built on the hope that you will. The credit card is not inherently bad. It is a tool invented 76 years ago by a man who forgot his wallet. But like any tool, it depends entirely on who is in control. Is the card working for you? Giving you float? Giving you rewards? Giving you consumer protections? And you pay it in full every month? Or is the card working for the bank, collecting 22% interest on a balance that never seems to get smaller, no matter how much you pay? Before credit cards existed, the answer to that question was determined by the shopkeeper's ledger and your reputation in the community. Today, the answer is determined by a single line on your credit card statement that almost nobody reads. The new balance, not the minimum payment. The new balance. Pay that number every month, and you will be the only person in this transaction who is actually winning. If this one changed how you think about your credit card, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next, and leave a comment. Do you pay your credit card in full every month? Or is there a balance sitting there right now that you are trying to pay down? That conversation matters more than most people realize. Big ideas, plain language, finally clear.